So we'll start out with a quick review of demineralization. The graphic depicted on your screen would be a cation unit to a degasifier to an anion unit to a mixed bed polisher. Basic demineralization would just be a cation unit and an anion unit, and this presentation is going to mostly focus on those two processes, but we'll touch on degasifiers and mixed beds just a little bit. But as a review, our inlet water is going to be chock full of ions, so cations and anions. And our cations are going to be things like calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, etc. And our anions will be phosphate, sulfate, chloride, nitrate, and silica. The water is first going to go through a cation unit. Now, the cation unit removes cations. It is exchanging hydrogen ions off the resin bead for cations. Okay, so it's taking cations out of the water. When we come out of the cation unit, the water is going to be really low pH because we just put a bunch of hydrogen ions back into the water in exchange for cations. And all our anions are still going to be in the water. The anions combine with the hydrogen ions, and we end up with a bunch of acids in the water. So we're going to have things like carbonic acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid. So again, cation effluents, low pH, very high conductivity because all the acids in the water. Some systems will then go through a degasifier. A degasifier is there to strip CO2 out of the water into the air and kind of helps the load of the anion unit downstream. And then we're going to go through an anion unit. And now the anion unit is going to exchange hydroxide ions for anions. So anion units remove anions out of the water. Once we get out of the anion, the water out of the anion is going to be relatively pure water, maybe under 2 microsiemens or so. It's going to have a little bit of sodium and silica in it, but very low levels. So we have relatively pure water at this point. And some users, particularly really high pressure boiler users, will need to polish that water a little bit more, and we'll run through a mixed bed polisher.